Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm so good, and I'm even better because it is Monday morning. Welcome to the Monday Morning Show. I'm Noah.
And I'm Ashley.
And we are your hosts to give you the Freedom Village news. So this feels a little weird.
I know it's been a long time since we've been together.
We have not recorded together for many weeks.
Mm-hmm.
How have things been?
They've been really good.
Great. I feel like I don't even know you.
I know.
Huh.
We went through a snowstorm. We went through a new year.
We've had a new year. We've had a snowstorm. What else has happened? I went to Nashville.
Wow.
We've been all over the place.
World
so it is
travelers.
so nice to be back.
It is.
I am so glad we're here together. And what do we have going on this week, Ashley?
Well, we've got something pretty exciting coming up this week, and we'll talk about the details a little more. But we're having what we're calling a snowball.
Yes, a snowball.
Or more kind of a senior prom.
We're kind of having a senior prom. I think it's going to be pretty exciting.
I think so.
And maybe we should reminisce about some of our past proms.
Yes. How many times did you go to prom?
I only went to the dance once.
Okay.
But I got dressed up and took pictures twice.
What happened after you got dressed up that you didn't make it to the dance?
Well, one of my good friends was playing in the pit orchestra of a showing of Legally Blonde, the musical. So I got dressed up, took pictures, and then went to a musical instead of going to prom. And I think it was just as fun.
All right.
Yeah.
That is fun.
How many times did you go to prom?
Twice. Junior and senior year, yeah.
That's pretty typical.
Only one time was I the prom queen.
The prom queen. I'm in the presence of a prom
You are.
queen? My goodness.
Yep.
Oh boy, that's amazing. What was it like being prom queen?
It was magical,
Was it?
but also no, not at all.
But did you get a crown?
I did get a tiara. I don't know what happened to it.
I was just gonna ask if you still have
If I
it.
did, I would wear it on Thursday, but no, I don't know what happened to it. I do have the dress from that night.
Do you?
I cannot wear that on Thursday,
Well,
though.
it's been a couple of years.
It's been a few years. That's not quite fitting the same.
Yeah.
No, I had a school with only 32 kids in my senior class.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I mean, there wasn't much competition. But I still like to brag about it because
Yeah.
everyone doesn't need to know those little details.
No, they don't need to know that. I was never even on the prom court.
Well, there you go.
So
You're in the presence
I'm
of
impressed.
royalty.
Whew. How can I handle it? Well, we have some pretty exciting things. Let's talk about the rest of our week coming up.
Let's talk about it. Well, every day this week at 12:30, either on Channel 954 or up in the auditorium, you can catch the Calvin College's January series.
Yep. Yeah. They have some really great speakers, some great programs. It's always a good hour of learning, and it's over a variety of topics. They really run the gamut on what they present on. So there's something for everybody if you're interested in the auditorium.
Yes. Tomorrow, Tuesday at 3 o'clock, this is a partying kind of week.
We love to party.
We do. At 3 o'clock in the auditorium, we have our This Is Your Life social. And so we'll gather together with friends and neighbors, and we'll meet some of the new residents that have moved in over the last couple months and get to know them a little bit and help welcome them to Freedom Village.
Yes, and that will be great. And then on Wednesday, we have a couple of things. We have the Village Artists, and they are heading out for an artistic outing at Ferris Coffee, where you can kind of people watch, see who's hanging out in the coffee shop, whether they're studying or maybe somebody's on a coffee date or who knows. So you can grab a cup of coffee and do some sketching. And that's at 10:45, heading out on the bus. And then at 2 p.m., we have a couple of options for you. We have musical reminiscing, and Janice and I will be doing a sing-along on Wednesday at 2 p.m. in the atrium. Or if you're a movie watching sort of a person, we'll be heading over to Sperry Theater and watching Maestro, which is it's a biographical drama based on the relationship between Leonard Bernstein and his wife. So that it will be a fun event as well.
Wonderful. On Thursday at 2 o'clock, the Freedom Village readers will meet in the game room to discuss this month's book. And we have kitchen tours up in the dining room with Terry. Make sure you sign up for these ahead of time though, because numbers are limited, because space is limited in there. But it's great to see kind of back of the house how they crank out all that food for hundreds of people every day. So sign up at the information station to attend that tour.
Wonderful.
At 3 o'clock, our wellness team is putting together a wellness event, and this month it is The Secret to a Happy Life which we could all use.
I think so.
So that'll be great. 3 o'clock auditorium. And then busy day.
It is a busy day.
7:15 in the auditorium. It is our senior prom, snowball, and January birthday party.
So in addition to being prom and our birthday party, we will have a 3-piece jazz band from Hope College playing live music, hooking us up with some good tunes. We'll have snacks, drinks, and dancing is highly encouraged, but never required. So we are really excited for this fun event. It'll be a little bit different from some of our other socials. And we're hoping for some dressed up folks.
Yes, prom dress is not required. But
Not required, but
if you've got them, please wear them.
if you've got a fancy dress you've been dying for an excuse to put on, now is the opportunity. But please feel free to come in whatever you are most comfortable in. We just want everybody to come and hang out and enjoy. So it'll be a really fun party.
Is someone going to spike the punch, you think?
Who is most likely to spike the punch?
You?
Me?
Maybe Terry.
Probably Terry. So who knows? Spike might be punched. Nope.
The spike will be punching all night long.
My punch has already been spiked. The punch might be spiked or it might not. You'll have to come and find out. 7:15 on Thursday. And on Friday, we will finish out the week with something kind of sad.
I'm so sad.
Are you so sad? I know a way to help your sadness.
How?
It is very important in these winter months in Michigan to get outside and get moving and get a little bit of exercise. So on Fridays throughout the winter, we go on our sad walks and just get outside, walk on the snow melt, which we definitely need to be doing now after all that snow last week, and just take a little jaunt around town. And when we get back, there will be a warm drink and a treat waiting for you. So we've got a little exercise, a little conversation. It's just can't go wrong.
Perfect. Well, that is a great week.
That is a great week.
We're going to be tired after all the partying.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to dance the night away.
Woo, I cannot wait. Before we go this week, we have another installment of our new segment that we introduced last week called The Village View. The panel of ladies sat down again together to discuss another topic this week. And this week they discussed the impact of immigration on culture and traditions. And I know a lot of families keep some deeply rooted traditions from their family that's immigrated to the United States, and some families start completely fresh. Does your family have any pre-America traditions?
Not honestly, I don't know where my family is from before here.
Okay.
So if we do have any that are rooted from cultural traditions, I don't know what they are.
They're so deep that
we don't have a huge extended family. I've got some family in Massachusetts where they were before that.
Okay.
Who
knows? All right.
So I don't have any. Do you?
Very little. My great-grandma is from Germany, came over when she was young, and so it's really a few food items are really the only traditions. I mean, I've got little baby lederhosen in the closet from when I was little that she brought for me.
That's cute.
But yeah, no, we don't have a ton. We just some German potato salad and stuff like that. But
German potato salad sounds
it's delicious, yes, but no, not much. But let's see what these ladies had to say. Well, welcome back, ladies. Today we've got a special topic for you. Immigration has been part of the political discourse for several years. All of us are here because of our immigrant ancestors. In addition to your American citizenship, what other personal or cultural gifts from your ancestors are you grateful for?
Boy, is there a lot of silence.
It's a thinker.
Freedom. I'm grateful for the freedom that our ancestors achieved. Of course, I'm a fairly new member to the Daughters of the American Revolution, but that prompted me because I saw a lot of patriotism being performed in one side of the family as far as being in all the wars that they were asked to go into, losing their lives in the wars, working through the Civil War, talking with people, of the memories. And I've located a lot of cousins around the country who are, born in Saginaw and now live in San Francisco. I just think it's immigration. We all were immigrants at one time, Christopher discovered the United States, Christopher Columbus, but he didn't bring us all over here. We all came on our own free will for the same reason, freedom. That's why we left and came to the new country.
I think that's exactly why all 4 of my grandparents were from Poland. And except actually one grandfather, the border changed so often, he really was German in Poland. But it was the same thing. But I can remember my cousin and I were about 11 or 12, and we said to our Grandma, we really want to learn Polish. I mean, we're Polish. We really want to learn Polish. And her answer was, no.
Yeah.
You are Americans
You
now.
speak English.
And you speak English. And that kind of took away the thing of being Polish, and made you kind of think of the fact that, yes, you were an American. I never had that thing of being
Exposure,
raised
yeah.
with a Polish background where everything we did was Polish.
Mhm.
Except we like borscht and you like, Polish
Pizza,
food.
yeah.
The things that you would cook and things.
Things that would be typically come from Poland.
Right.
I've heard within the last month, if you're in America, you need to be speaking English.
Mhm.
And I can understand why somebody who immigrates might want to maintain some of their
Culture.
culture from the other country. I can understand that. I mean, like you wanted to learn Polish, I would have liked to absorb more of the culture. I have Irish and Dutch on both sides. More of that culture would have been wonderful. But even my parents lost it, and my grandparents lost it. They didn't maintain
Well,
any of that.
And you raised a good thing though, Lynn, when you were saying people came for freedom. Now Joe and I were married and immediately went and lived in Frankfurt, Germany for 2 years. And when we went over there, it was the intent to learn German, especially with the name Frauenheim,
Right.
which obviously is German. And the Germans with whom we lived said absolutely not. We want to learn English. They were looking for freedom.
Right.
And we represented to them what freedom was, so that they didn't do it. But I going back just overall to the immigration story, I think so many people who come here come because of that freedom.
Oh, for freedom.
And one of my stories that I have about 5 things that I think are life-changing, and one of them is living in Germany. I taught school. We taught kindergarten, and we had a German teacher. She came in and taught German to our American, soldiers' children. And at that time, Germany was divided between East Germany and West Germany. And she and her husband and her 6-year-old daughter and her 9-year-old son cut through the barbed wire at 2 o'clock in the morning, crawled on their hands and knees over 2 miles of interborder, avoiding dogs, mines, shotguns, spotlights, to get to what they call freedom, to get here. So if you translate that into why people were coming, I think for many reasons that's why they have been coming.
Well, we left our homelands, or our ancestors left the homelands for religious freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That was what cast everybody over to the New World, because it was just starting. Originally, yes. Now they leave for oppression, religious freedom, Ireland for the potato famine. I mean, you were looking for a better place to live and a better place to raise a family. The families now are living inside war-torn countries that are monopolized by cartel. And I mean, who wants to bring their children up in that? That's why they want to get out. The people who fought and died to make America free were not just one nationality.
No, they were not.
No.
They were of every part of the world. So, you can't just say, well, the English people set us free.
No, that's right. That's right.
It was a mass of people that did it. And I can understand why they would live in Chinatown or live in where the Polish people were. Their customs and their people that spoke their language lived there.
I would think that there would be groups of people, yes, who would want to live within their own neighborhood. And I think that should be, respected, too. So that if you go into a certain certainly being raised in Detroit, there were certain, areas that were specific. There were
Right.
Polish neighborhoods in Detroit,
Yeah.
quite a few of them.
There was a Hispanic Mexican restaurant in Detroit called Soshi Milkles. And we used to love to go there because we loved burritos and we loved the Spanish food. But it was way downtown, inner city, and they had a little neighborhood carved out for themselves. And once you were in that neighborhood, you were golden. I mean, it was, you could walk on the streets and walk out and, in groups, have a wonderful dinner, then you drove back out of there. But yeah, that was a great experience. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the answer is, and we don't seem to have anybody that knows what the answer is because they're all procrastinating.
Ladies, can we go a little bit lighter with it maybe? It's okay. And talk about any personal traits in your life that immigration has brought to you, or any of your favorite foods, that kind of thing. Just a little bit maybe lighter than immigration policy.
So we don't get into
The
government.
all this is interesting, but none of this has ever been a part of my life. My
don't
family
have
could have
any
cared. Oh
immigrants?
no, my family could have cared less that they had some German. My mother, I couldn't tell you what my
See,
mother.
we never did either. We never cared
No,
who lived
No.
next door to us.
The only thing that I can kind of even remember that kind of set us apart is the fact that you ate borscht, which was a Polish Russian soup. You learned to eat herring because that was a food.
I must
and
have.
that's
I don't have
all.
that background. I don't eat fish.
No, I mean none of
No
none of that
Scandinavian.
has ever been a part of my life.
Yeah.
Even on Bob's side, we could have cared less.
That's kind of what I was saying too. We didn't even know the German customs
No.
of Christmas until we went to Germany.
I have a granddaughter that is very interested in tracing family history, and I said, "Oh, I can tell you about my grandma."
That's it.
How many generations back do each of your families go in this country? Just wondering if that makes a difference, because I think my great grandma came from Germany, so there were some like German customs because she grew up there.
Great grandma.
But I don't pass that down to my girls. Like
Right.
they don't know anything about it because it's not something that's
And
continued.
that was
because
not
now
passed
it's
to me
4
either.
generations ago.
At my generation, it was not passed. My folks didn't pass that.
Well, greats aren't that much older. Grandparents are probably 40 years. Greats are going to be another 20, 60 years.
It could be a little wider because if you go back and you go through all the cemeteries, men were having children much longer. In their 40s, 50s, 60s. To go to
Really?
Grand Rapids, they were having kids in their 70s.
Who were they having them with? Younger women?
Well, sometimes wives died more often. And
Yes.
so they
Oh,
remarried.
that's true.
That's
They
right.
That's true.
remarried
That's right.
more.
I do genealogy, and I've been
Right.
doing it for
Yeah.
about 21 years. But it was the patriotic aspect that got me interested in it. I didn't know anything about the daughters of the American Revolution, but my interest came in finding those people that had served in the war. You get little scattered notes about, well, this grandpa served in the Civil War and 3 of his sons died. And I think, now that tells me patriotism. That tells me that I want to know more about that family. They were my Grandma Bundy's and Grandpa Bundy's family. Grandpa, great-grandpa, great-great, and great-great-great. So you go back
You go
150
back way longer.
years.
Yeah.
That's on the English side. But the Dutch side came over in the early 1900s. So they've only been
My
here.
mother came, she was born in 1910, she came in 1912.
I think that's the same year. My grandpa was 11 when they came over. But my great-grandparents are buried in Grand Rapids.
Yeah,
So that, and then their parents, of course, are over
Couldn't
in
tell you where mine are.
Netherlands.
yeah.
But I've been doing genealogy. I wouldn't have
How
known
far
that.
back, Lenny, does your family, who came? How far back?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
And the only reason I say that is because it's never been an interest of mine. I mean, I could care less. My folks, my dad was born in 2 and my mother was born in 10. Now, where they came from there, Couldn't
Where
tell
was your
ya.
father born?
Huh?
Where was your father born?
That was in
The physical place. Where was he born?
oh, I probably guess Ohio.
So you don't even know that, where his birth is?
No, I know where he's buried.
Well, that was
But I
more
don't
recent
know,
from
huh?
when
No,
he was
no,
born.
no. Because his mother lived to
that
the
was a
age of
joke.
95, and Aunt Lenny and the other sister, you know. But no, so I knew if we got into this discussion that it would not be something that I could contribute to because it's never been an interest of mine.
It never
I mean,
was
we
a
ate
mine.
what we ate as far as food was prepared by my mother, and we had lived on a little farm, and we raised our food, but my mother didn't cook ethnic food.
Mm-hmm.
We stew, roast turkey. You
You're
know,
on a
on the
farm,
farm.
sure. You
Uh-huh.
had
Yeah,
cows
you
and
lived
pigs.
where?
So-
but you
so
grew
we
on the
never-
farm.
for us to have spaghetti, it wasn't Italian. It was like hoopla. You know.
But you don't know if your grandpa was born in a foreign country.
No, haven't
He could have been
foggiest.
born in Ohio, and
Couldn't even tell you what his name was.
you don't even
Wow.
know his name.
Mm-mm.
You're making me
My
curious
grandpa,
about your family.
and that's probably where my Claire, my granddaughter, is very interested in it. The rest of us, they say, "Mom, what do you know?" And I said, "As much as you know, honey." That's all I can tell you. No, it's just never been something that.
Not curious. Well,
Mm-mm.
not everybody's interested.
And Bob was
in
the same way. One time he got a call from his last name was Cross, and they got a call from California, and they were sending somebody out in California was very interested in this genealogy thing, so I sent forms. So he sent them to Bob, and oh my gosh, Bob says, oh my gosh, there's 20-some pages here. And he said, I could care less. So he called the fellow up and said, you know what, I'm sending them back because I don't care. Click.
a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. I would be curious.
Well, our kids in 4th grade had to do kind of a thing, an ancestry
Yeah.
type thing about
Oh, is
their
that
grandparents.
right?
The older kids,
Yeah.
we never did.
Mm-mm.
But my
the
children
older, yeah.
did. My granddaughter did. She had to do 4th grade.
I wonder if my kids
And
did.
I think in college, my children had to interview their grandfather and ask about his history. But I think going back in like our generation, once you were over here, you really wanted to assimilate within the American population.
Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's why we came to this country,
That's
to be a part
exactly
of this
why.
country,
Mhm.
yes. Mhm.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. It's been great. We'll see you next week.
Well, that was quite interesting.
It was.
I learned some things.
Yeah. And a huge thank you again to Linny, Sandy, and Lynn for sharing their time and their opinions with us. We can't see what they have to say.
We can't wait to see what they have to say next
We
week.
can't wait to see what they have to say
We
next
can't
week.
wait. They're wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Big thank you to them.
Yeah.
I think that's all we have for this week. We are so thankful for you all to continue tuning into the Monday Morning Show. And we can't wait to see you next week. That's Ashley.
That's Noah.
And this has been Monday Morning. Bye.
Bye.